Here we go, then, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go lights out here at Catalonia, and it's lights out and away we go, and look at this! Oh my goodness, Andrew Pittsmith hasn't moved up the line. What is going on here? Absolute carnage off the line, as my info hasn't loaded on the screen. I've got no graphics on the screen. I don't know what's going on here. Some kind of issue with the connection in the server, I would imagine. We still have no options available to us. I don't know what's happened here. Look like carnage off the line, as we've got a wet start here. Catalonia here for the Spanish Grand Prix at Excel, and we still haven't got any options on the screen. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, here we go. We now got options on the screen. So it's Horatio leading the race. Bennett LCFC's got himself into second place ahead of Derby Bay, but Andrew Pittsmith there dropping down to 8th place off of the line. Managed to eventually get it going in 8th place, so not too bad. Could have been worse for him. Danny Din's just gone ahead and Polish My Balls. Polish My Balls is ever so wide, loses out to Danny Din and Malky, and Chimoki Page down in P13, not where he's used to be. So from Paul Codd running out the field in 14th and 15th as Paul Codd's parked up by the side of the road, coming down the start finish straight. So that'll be a yellow flag when the leaders come through. Soph is looks like she's not moved very far either. So those two. But Horatio's lost it. Horatio's binned it out of turn 9. Have we got a safety car, an invisible safety car here? Because everybody's just closed up. Unless they're running their own safety car here. Something's happened and they've all just kind of backed off a bit. I wonder if they're running their own safety car here. Just waiting for the pack to bunch up. Possibly that could be what they're doing here. I don't know, I'm not in their party chat, so I'm not 100%, but it definitely looked as though Bennett and Horatio just backed the pack up there, as Bennett's now letting Horatio back past, and Horatio's saying, no, after you, no, after you, as they figure it out. So, unless... No, I really don't know what's going on here. So now Blocker is in the pits, and Horatio's still going in the lead of the race ahead of Bennett. And we've now got a virtual safety car as Soph is out of the race. And now we've got a full safety car. As there is a lag all over the place and absolute carnage here at the start of this race. But Horatio leads ahead of Bennett, Derby Bay in third, Cart's fourth, Mark Bowen fifth, Andrew Pittsmith off the starting on pole, down to 8th off the line, is now up into 6th, Chimoki Page 7th, and Polish My Balls, Viper, Blocker, and Malky as well. San is all coming into the pits here, so they're all making the most of this safety car. But yeah, I don't really know what's going on here, but we're on the safety car here for the Spanish Grand Prix at XL. So we're just going to take a quickly try and figure out what's going on here. Here we are then, guys, on the restart. We've got Horatio leading out of the final corner. Bit of lag going on as the safety car is appearing to pop in and out of the screen, but he's off the screen now as Horatio comes down the start finish straight, trying to defend from Bennett LCFC coming up towards turn 1. Derby Bay in the background there. Looks like Bennett's out dragged Horatio down the start finish straight. It's got the lead going into turn 1. He came from nowhere there. He was miles back coming into the corner. So Bennett leads ahead of Horatio. Derby Bay running just behind with Carts there in 4th. Mark Bow, Tree Monkey Page up into 6th place. So decent restart there from Tree Monkey Page. Viper there in 7th with Malky 8th. Has got Andrew Pittsmith all over the back of him as Andrew's looking to the inside as we come in towards turn 4, and Andrew gets that one done up into 8th place. Beautifully done there from Andrew Pittsmith ahead of Malky. Polish My Balls, Blocker in 11th after the pit stops, and Stan in 12th place. But Bennett leads ahead of Horatio. It's normal service resumed down here out the front. Bennett LCFC doing what he does best, doing what he does so consistently here at XL, and that is leading the races. But Horatio is not going to lie down without a fight, I'm sure of that, as Derby Bay in the background trying to get onto these guys if he can. Carts and Mark Bow competing in the top 5. Bit of a gap back to Tree Monkey Page at the moment. As down the back straight towards turn 9 we come. No changes in position there as Bennett's now got just over a second back to Horatio here. So that gap's kind of ebbing and flowing as we see Polish My Balls has made the move on Malky up into 9th place. So Polish My Balls there is up the inside, and Malky's got Blocker and San pretty close. Trainer cars battling out over 9th place at the moment. Up the front it's Bennett still leading ahead of Horatio as they're coming out of the final corner to complete the 5th lap of the race. As we got there Derby Bay there in the background in P3, 4/10 behind Horatio. No DRS, too wet for DRS, so the drivers will not get the benefit of the rear wing, which reduces drag and it aids straight line speed. They've got to do it by the sheer grunt of the cars, as we've got 4 people watching at the moment live on the YouTube stream here on the Motive Racing channel. Guys, if you like what you see, click the link in the description, head over to the XL F1 League Discord server or join us Motive Racing as well, as we can see Carts looking all over the back here of Derby Bay in towards turn 4, and he makes the move up the inside there, but he pushed him a bit wide. Oh, as Derby Bay runs off the road there. You know what, I don't think Carts did anything really too wrong there. I think that Derby Bay went off the track on his own steam and went wide onto the grass. I think although Carts did squeeze him, I think Derby Bay went wide as a result of his own actions there. I don't think he was pushed wide. I think he already outbraked himself and Carts just ran him off the track as a result of the outbraking. But Carts up into 3rd place there, and Bennett's still leading the race ahead of Horatio at the moment as we see these guys coming in towards turn 9, just about a second separating Bennett and Horatio. Carts there in 3rd, Mark Bow on the back there with Tree Monkey Page in the background there coming through your shot. Derby Bay down to P6 after that little skirmish there. Viper 7th, there's Andrew Pittsmith. Polish My Balls has got Blocker on the back of him as Blocker knocks him in the back a little bit there in towards turn 9, but at the moment Blocker still can't get around him. Is he going to have the inside maybe for turn 11? He is, you know. Blocker going for a very audacious move as we see Polish My Balls getting a tap in the rear there from Malky, but beautifully done there from Blocker, but in the end loses out on the position there. Polish My Balls barged his way back through up into 9th place. Bennett LCFC setting the fastest lap of the race. His gap's now 2 seconds ahead of Horatio, so Bennett LCFC doing what he does best, the reigning champion of the OG League here on a Wednesday and Sunday at XL, currently doing what we see him do many times throughout the months that I've been commentating here on the XLF1 League. We've got Carts running in the final podium spot ahead of Mark Bow, 4/10 of a second between those two. Viper's still got 7/10 of a second back to Polish My Balls as those two, Polish My Balls and Blocker now back up onto the rear end of Viper once again, and now Polish My Balls around the outside of Blocker there up into 9th place. Beautifully done as he's trying to get off to the rear of Viper if he can. Malky there on the back of these guys trying to get himself into the top 10 if he can. There's Bennett though running in the lead of the race. 3 seconds he's got of a gap here over Horatio. Carts there within half a second of Horatio, still keeping him on his toes. You see that Carts has got Mark Bow being dragged along with him. These two are about second and a bit ahead of Tree Monkey Page, who's managed to gap Derby Bay a little bit. Derby Bay, since that mistake that we saw him dropping off the podium down to P6, has not been able to keep tabs with Tree Monkey Page, and Tree Monkey Page starting to close in a little bit on the leaders here, but Derby Bay seems to have dropped pace a little bit over this last lap or so. You're right there now. Viper's got Polish My Balls, Blocker and Malky all in close contention at the moment. These guys, these 4 separated by about 2 seconds at the moment. Cart's still running in the final podium spot. He's got Mark Bow and Tree Monkey Page pretty close, but in fact Tree Monkey Page dropped off a little bit off of these guys and has fallen back into the clutches of Derby Bay a little bit as they're coming over the line to complete their 7th lap of the race. Quarter of the way into this race, the Spanish Grand Prix here at XLF1 League Season 2. Bennett, the reigning champion, leads the field and he's already pulled out 3 seconds clear of Horatio since the safety car restart. You alright?
It's just been in the washing machine.
Oh no. I left it in my pocket, didn't I?
I always empty the pockets. That's what.
I left my
when you say
I left my debit card in my trouser pocket, and my nan ended up putting it in the washing machine. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing when you're saying that I'm messing about.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's my fault. I shouldn't have left it in the pocket.
If you messed about, you'd be sorting it out.
I know.
You understand that, don't you?
I know.
Now, which shirt do you want to wear tomorrow?
I'll wear the McColl's one.
Which one?
The McColl's one.
With short sleeves?
Yeah. So here we see, look, we've got Bennett pulling away now by 3.5 seconds. He's got quite a sizable margin here at the front, but Karts is keeping Horatio very much within striking distance here. It's actually a 4-car battle here for second. In fact, it's a 5-car battle really, because Derby Bay's kind of been dragging along with these 5 cars here. Bit of a gap back to Andrew Pipsmith, who qualified on pole position. Since the start of the race, he's kind of just fallen back a little bit. Obviously, he was very strong in the qualifying session, but the start of the race didn't go to plan, didn't move off the line, and since then it's only been downhill from him. As Bennett LCFC set the fastest lap of the race there, 4 seconds he's got at the moment over Horatio. But Karts and Mark Bowe and Monkey Page, Derby Bay as well, being dragged along here in this battle for second place. Derby Bay set the fastest lap of the race though on that last lap, and he's now very much in contention for this second spot here. Maybe the pit stops could be vital for him. If maybe Bennett LCFC is going to have a challenger in this race, possibly Derby Bay could be the one to take the fight to him here. But right now, no position changes. Still Horatio in that second spot ahead of Karts, Mark Bowe and Tree Monkey Page, and Derby Bay completing that quintet of cars here. Also, it looks like Malky's close on the back of Viper. 4 tenths between those two. The Aston Martin really putting the McLaren under a bit of pressure here. Battle of the English constructors right here. The British teams are fighting it out over 8th and 9th as Derby Bay's got himself ahead of Tree Monkey Page with a side-by-side coming in towards turn 9. And can Derby Bay hold it around the outside here? No, he's always going to try it. Look at this. Such close racing here between these two, and Tree Monkey Page does hold on for that 5th place just about, but Derby Bay's really coming for him there. I thought Derby Bay had that move done around the outside of turn 9, but Tree Monkey Page did really well to get that one to keep that pinned in. Holding on to P5 for the time being. In the meantime, Bennett leads by 4 seconds ahead of this man Horatio, who's managed to got a bit of a cushion between himself and Karts at the moment. Just about a second between Horatio and Karts. Mark both still very close on the back of this podium battle here, and they've managed to gap Tree Monkey Page and Derby Bay a little bit whilst they were battling coming through that final sector there. Oh, here we go. We got Derby Bay trying to make the move up the inside of Tree Monkey Page. Once again, Tree Monkey Page had a little bit too much for him there. Derby Bay, I thought he had it done once again, but it was a little bit of a speculative move up the inside, and he had to ride over that curb a little bit, which prevented him being able to complete that manoeuvre. As we've got Malky still on the back of Viper here, 3 tenths of a second separating these two as they're coming up towards turn 5, and Blocker's in the pits. So Blocker's coming in at the end of lap 9, almost a third of the way into the race now. These drivers on intermediate tyres. The question is, how long would these guys be able to go on one set of inters? Would they be able to pit now and then go to the end of the race on a set of inters? That would be really, really tough. He's putting a new front wing on, so maybe it's the damage that's prompted him to come into the pits, because I don't think a set of intermediate tyres are going to go 23 laps into this race. We'll have to watch and see as it goes on. But at the moment, Bennett's lead over Horatio is about 4 seconds. Tree Monkey Page still running in 5th place, is on the back of Mark Bowe. Karts has managed to pull out a bit of a gap to Mark Bowe of just over a second, but he's falling off at the back of Horatio as well. So Karts kind of in no man's land here at the moment in 3rd place. Tree Monkey Page trying to pressure Mark Bowe. He's gapped Derby Bay a little bit on this lap, so Tree Monkey Page very much just responded to that pressure from Derby Bay on that last lap. Viper still keeping Malky at bay. 8th and 9th places, 4 tenths between the McLaren and the Aston Martin as they're coming out of the final corner. Can the Aston get the run here on the McLaren? Down the start finish, maybe use that slipstream. Viper's going to defend. He's going to weave around in that slipstream and try and break the toe if he can. That was a hiccup, but Malky's looking to the outside here up towards turn 1. Can he complete this move, or is Viper going to break late on the inside and use that preferred line? No, he's going to breeze around the outside as Malky goes a little bit wide though onto the runoff, and Viper expertly gets that position and holds onto that by the skin of his teeth. Great driving there from Viper. Really managed to get his elbows out there and holds on to 8th place as a result. Malky having a look in towards turn 5. Nope, too far back. Can't get anything done there. Horatio still running in second place. He's got a second back to Karts in third. Mark Bow and Schumacher Page being dragged along, and Derby Bay's really dropped off for these drivers over the last lap or so. I don't know what's happened to Derby Bay. He was on a real mission before about a lap or so ago, and he's dropped off the pace a little bit. I don't know what's happened to Derby Bay here. But Bennett still leads the race. Oops, sorry no, I've just dropped my wheel. But the gap's just under 5 seconds at the moment between Bennett and Horatio. Kart's there running in P3, and he's still just about latching onto the back. Are you alright? Are you purring? You alright? As we see Horatio into the pits here at the end of lap 11. So that's going to promote Karts up into second, and it's going to put Mark Bow into the final podium spot. There's Tree Monkey Page running in fourth. Derby Bay currently in the top 5 now with Horatio in the pits. Andrew Pittsmith in the background has brought himself quietly into contention here. He's just kind of brought himself back up the order a little bit, up into 6th place. So it's been a good drive from Andrew Pittsmith. He was quick in the qualifying session. We knew he had the pace earlier on. It looks like the rain has kind of just eased up a little bit now. So I wonder if any of the drivers are going to start thinking about switching to the slicks pretty soon. Obviously we know that Blocker put a set of new intermediates on a lap or so ago. Polish My Balls has just put a fresh set of inters on. So clearly those guys near the cut-off just yet, but I would imagine pretty soon we might be seeing a few drivers throwing caution to the wind with that dry line very visible there on the middle of the track surface. Bennett LCFC still leads this race. Karts got heavy pressure from Mark Bow in towards turn 9. Mark Bow a little bit too far back to make any moves here. Tree Monkey Page still holding Derby Bay at bay as well. Andrew Pittsmith there in the background in P6, and Malky's got ahead of Viper up into 7th place here. So Malky's made that move. He's been looking like he was going to make the move for a little while, and he's finally made it stick there. So Malky up into 7th place. Who do you think's going to win?
Why is the Blocker only done one lap?
Oh no, he hasn't only done one lap. He's done one lap on his current tyres. So it means that the tyres that he's on right now, he's done one lap on them. So basically he put tyres on a lap ago, so he's only done one lap on them. See, Polish My Balls has done 0 laps on his tyres, and so has Horatio. But all of the guys towards the front, because they haven't done any pit stops, they're all further up.
Oh.
Except a couple of them came in at the safety car, because there was a safety car at the start, so they came into the pits during that safety car. But Bennett's still leading this race by 7.5 seconds at the moment over Karts. Mark Bow and Schumacher Page still very close in contention here. Derby Bay waiting in the wings. He's been sat on the back of this pack of cars for quite a while now. Hasn't seemed too interested in engaging in battle with these guys yet. He's just hoping to pick them off. Horatio's already been into the pits, as we know, and he's on the back of Viper right now. We'll be hoping that Viper doesn't hold him up, seeing as they are on differing strategies. But Horatio's not going to get waved through here, because Viper is technically battling him for position. He's not a lapped car, so there will be no blue flags. Horatio's got to find a way through past him using his own speed and talent out in that Ferrari. As Andrew Pittsmith's now closed up onto the back of Derby Bay, and Derby Bay's once again just fallen off of the pack of cars. Karts, Mark Bow and Schumacher Page, and looks as though Karts is in the pits, as is Derby Bay here, as Malky's left the session, so he must have disconnected there. Hopefully he gets himself back in ASAP. Karts and Derby Bay both in at the end of lap 13 though. Mark Bow and Andrew Pittsmith have picked up time penalties as well, so that will obviously affect them once they get to the end of the race. Oh, big slide there from Mark Bow. Very nice save there as he came through turns 1 and 2. He was really on the edge there. Looked like he was on an ice rink there in that Red Bull. Somehow managed to keep that thing pointing in the right direction. That was incredibly close there to going round. Still all these drivers on the inters. Karts and Derby Bay both put the another set of intermediate tyres on, so these drivers still think that we're not anywhere near the cut-off here to the slick tyres. Still looks pretty slippery and wet out there. Blocker's still running in P12, having made that pit stop a couple of laps ago. He's 20 seconds off on the back of San, so it's not been the race at all for Blocker in that Alpine. Bennett LCFC still leading this race. I have a feeling that Bennett's staying out as long as he possibly can here, so that he can possibly try and put a set of slicks on if it dries out enough. As we say, we can clearly see the rain has stopped, So there's no more rain falling. It's just a case of how quickly the standing water that we got out on the track dries up and gives us the opportunity to switch to the dry tyres. But for the time being, the race leader keeping his cards close to his chest and staying out on the track as he comes out of the last corner up and over the line to complete the 15th lap of the race onto lap 16. So we're nearly half distance here for the Spanish Grand Prix at XLF1 League, and we see there Tree Monkey Page into the pits at the end of lap 15. So he's coming in now. Does he? What did you just say? Polish my bum?
No.
I think you did.
I would.
We see Tree Monkey Page into the pits and off and away. He's put another set of the intermediate tyres on. So he's staying out for the time being. He's always not staying out, but you know what I mean. He's keeps playing it safe, not opting for the slick tyres at this point. It will be, I'm sure, the slicks quite soon if the weather stays as it is. But he clearly feels that it's not quite the right time yet. Thing is, if you call that crossover and you put the sticks on and you're 2-3 seconds a lap quicker than everybody, then you look like an absolute hero. But you can also look like a right plonker if you put them on and you're sliding around everywhere and you're losing 5 seconds a lap. So you know, it's very fine margins, and right now nobody's sort of taken that big step to actually take that risk. But we just saw there Polish My Balls getting himself into 9th place ahead of Malky. And Derby Bay is pretty close into the back of Karts as well, 7/10 between these two. This is for position, and they'll be fighting for the podium spots once the pit stops are done. You would imagine, with those guys having been in that battle with Mark Bow, Horatio and Andrew earlier on, and Tree Monkey Page as well. But Tree Monkey Page is about 5 seconds clear of these guys at the moment. So Tree Monkey Page seems to have had a much better pit window than Karts and Derby Bay. What was it? I don't know what you said. So it looks as though Karts is coming into the pits here at the end of lap 16. So he slows the car to 37 miles an hour, and in he comes. Not 37, sorry, I'm thinking of Project Cars. He slows the car down to 50 miles an hour, and into the box he comes. What's he going to put on? He's going for the dries. Here we go. We've got a driver on the dry tyres. Karts has put a set of hard tyres on, and he's going to try and go to the end from here. So we had the first driver to take that risk, to put the sticks on. We've seen all of them start on the intermediate tyres. They've all longed it out as long as they possibly can, and Karts has been the one to bite the bullet. What's Polish My Balls going to do? He stops in the box. What's he going to put on the car? He's put another set of no, he hasn't. He's put the softs on. He's put the softs on, so Karts can probably go a few laps on those. He'll have to pit again though. Malky's put the softs on as well. San has put the mediums on. So San taking a bit of a risk. He's going to maybe try and go to the end. That would be a bit of a push though. 18 laps on the mediums would be no mean feat, especially when you consider that he's doing the first part of the stint on a wet track. So it'll be hard to get those slick tyres up to temperature. But the intermediate tyres are going to start to burn up now as Bennett's in the pits. Mark Bow is in the... Oh, Mark Bow's had a big moment there coming into the pits. Looked like he hit the pit wall. He might have to repair that front wing. Andrew Pittsmith is also in. Horatio is coming into the pits at the end of this lap. I'm sure he must be. They'd be mad to stay on the intermediate tyres. The track is almost bone dry now. He comes in. Tree Monkey Page is going to stay out. He's going to take a risk here. He's going to roll the dice and see if he can get one more lap out of these inters and try and get a faster lap than these guys on the soft wheel. He's looking for those wet patches here, pulling off for the racing line, trying to get some water onto those tyres, trying to keep those intermediates up to temperature. It's going to be a very big challenge here for Tree Monkey Page to do that though over the course of this lap. But maybe if he times this right, he might be able to get one more good lap out of these inters, and maybe he'll be onto a winner here. But I think the track seems a bit too dry for this to work, but he's staying out there for the time being. Bennett managed to get it in and out before Tree Monkey Page even came up on the scene. He's still leading this race. Mark Bow is in a net second once Tree Monkey Page comes in. He's ahead of Andrew Pittsmith here. Horatio's lost out to Mark Bow and to Andrew, and he's pulled out a bit of a gap to Karts over the course of the last couple of the laps. So Horatio's got actually quite a big gap between himself and Karts. Karts is a long way behind there. He's nowhere near. So he's had a real scruffy lap or two here as Karts. Derby Bay running in 7th place on the medium tyres. Karts is on the hards. Karts can go to the end. I don't think that Andrew Pittsmith can on the softs. The medium runners Mark Bow and Horatio are going to be falling off the cliff once we get to the end of the race. Hopefully those tyres will stay in range, but they're at risk of maybe running out of tread at the end, whereas Karts and Viper on the hard tyres are going to easily get to the end of the race on their hard tyres no matter what. You right? Derby Bay looks like he's left the session here. Not sure why. He may be disconnected from the race. So Monkey Page is driving through the pit lane now on the limiter. So he obviously did an extra lap on those intermediate tyres. I think that's going to have majorly messed him up here, as he puts the medium tyres on and should be able to go to the end from here. But maybe that was the wrong decision for Monkey Page to stay out for an extra lap on the inters. I think those would have been burning up by the end of that. As we just see there, a Mercedes getting ahead of Monkey Page. That's Karts there coming into turn 1, getting himself up into 5th. I suppose it wasn't all bad for Monkey Page. He's come out, well, he's about 10 seconds behind Horatio and Andrew, so he's pretty much out of the battle for the podium spots. You got to say, at this rate, Horatio's got to be the favourite for a podium, but Karts on those hard tyres will have a lot of durability in them, whereas it's possible that Horatio could be running out of tread by the end on those medium tyres. So Horatio and Karts separated by his heart. Oh no, Viper's left the session there. He's retired from the race. We've got a safety car here on lap 18. 15 laps left to go here in this race. We have got a safety car. Safety car is deployed, and that is unfortunate there for Viper, but that is going to play into the hands of the guys on the soft tyres. Andrew Pittsmith can now get a free pit stop in and can bring it in at the end of this lap, so he can now, but he's not come in. Andrew's staying out. What's he doing? No way. That would have been a no-brainer. How has he not come in? Oh my goodness, he stayed out. So the safety car picks him up. Bennett, Mark Bow, Andrew Pittsmith, Horatio, the top 4. Monkey Page coming down the start finish there in 5th. These guys on the mediums will be easily able to get to the end now, as they'll be doing 2 or 3 laps on the safety car, which means that the distance they'll have to cover on a medium will be a lot less. Karts, Polish My Balls and Malky all in. Karts changing to the mediums. Obviously the hards would be relatively useless now, with the medium runners being easily able to get to the end of the race. See you in a bit, Nana. My nan's heading off to bed now. She just came in to quickly watch a bit of the action, and now she's off, I think, downstairs to watch the TV. But Polish My Balls off and on his way. Malky put another set of hards on. I would have thought he'd put the mediums on and be able to go comfortably to the end with the mediums on from here, but he's put the hards on. Balocca's coming in as well, so it'd be interesting to see what he puts on. But Andrew Pittsmith has stayed out on the soft tyres, so he's now going to be very vulnerable. But at the end of this race, I'm sure of that. I think he's really missed out on a trick here as Andrew Pittsmith. He could still come in right here at the end of this lap. I feel he could still easily come in at the end of this lap and still get a free pit stop. Andrew Pittsmith's got to come in and put the medium tyres on here for sure. Is he going to do so though? No, he's not. He's staying out. So the only driver out on the soft is staying out. And we've got a safety car here on lap 20 of 33 for the XLF1 League Spanish Grand Prix. Drop a like on the video, guys. We'll be back very soon for what's probably going to be a 10-lap dash to the flag, so don't go anywhere. Then guys, we're racing once again. Bennett LCFC leads us around the final corner and we're once again underway. 11 laps to go here at Catalonia for the XLF1 League here, the Spanish Grand Prix, as Bennett leads into turn 1, Mark Bow second. There's Andrew Pitts just behind us. He's got Horatio, True Monkey Page. There's Carts in the background with Derby Bay in pretty close contention. Polish My Balls, Malky San and Blocker at the back in P11. We lost Viper before this restart. Obviously, before the safety car period, it was his accident that triggered the safety car. But Bennett at the moment still leading ahead of Mark Bow. Andrew Pittsmith very, very close behind it in 4th place. In 3rd even, sorry. And Horatio looking to try and get himself onto this podium if he can. But we know that Andrew Pittsmith is going to struggle in the latter stages of the race as he's on the soft tyres, and he put them on quite a while ago now. He'll have to do about 12 or 13 racing laps on the soft tyres by the time he gets to the end of the race. So I have a feeling that his tyres may fall off the cliff by the time we get to the end. He needs to be really careful on those, as we've got double waved yellow flags coming through the first and middle sectors. Don't know why. Oh, as we see a big incident there in the background. Carts has spun off. He's swerved across the track there and he's down to the back of the pack. Unsurprisingly there, Polish My Balls trying to go around the outside of Derby Bay and does it brilliantly. But oh, he's lost it on the exit of the corner and he's round and he's facing the wrong way there. Polish My Balls, that's to spins it back around once again. Derby Bay there getting back ahead of him. Malky there in 7th with Sand just behind. Polish My Balls and Carts down to the back in 9th and 10th places respectively. Blockers out of the race. He's DNF'd there on this first restart, on the first lap of the restart, as Bennett finishes his 23rd lap onto lap 24. 10 to go. He's already gapped Andrew Pittsmith by 1.7 seconds here. Andrew can't seem to be able to go with him at this point. He's got True Monkey Page and Horatio very, very close behind him right now in 3rd and 4th places though, and these guys have already gapped Mark Bow by 5 seconds. Derby Bay there running in 6th. We saw him have a bit of a to-do there with Polish My Balls, and Polish My Balls ended up losing it and dropping back down to 9th place. But Derby Bay trying to get himself onto Mark Bow if he can and get himself back up into P5 here in this race, as we see Carts coming into the pits to get that damage repaired, presumably from that incident coming out of turn 8. There he is getting those repairs done and dusted, as Bennett leads by 1.4. Andrew Pittsmith has closed in a little bit of Bennett over the course of this lap so far. He looks like he's bringing that gap back down to him, but Andrew knows that he's on borrowed time with these tyres. He really needs another safety car to come out just so he can look over those tyres a little bit more. The question is he going to get it though? And if he does, will it be out for long enough for him to look after those tyres and keep that life in them for that little bit longer? You can do maybe 10 laps on the softs at racing speed, possibly, if you're lucky around a track like this. So he really does need another safety car to be thrown into the mix here, and I don't think that Andrew Pittsmith's going to get so lucky here in this race. I can't see another safety car coming out, but you never know, he could maybe get lucky here in this race. We had a 3-lap long safety car period before, so altogether he'd have to do 16 laps. He'd have to do about 10, right? If he got another safety car, he'd have to do 10 laps on the soft. As it is, he's got True Monkey Page all over the back of him anyway, though. True Monkey Page will be looking to try and get himself into P2 if he can, as he's on the same tyres as the race leader Bennett. If he can get ahead of Andrew here, he might be able to chase down Bennett, as Horatio's looking to the inside as well, in towards turn 5, but still can't get anything done. These guys have got Mark Bow and Derby Bay 5 seconds behind them. They've gapped Malky a little bit, 2 seconds back in 7th place. San in 8th, with Polish My Balls and Carts running in 9th and 10th places respectively. Still Bennett leads by 3 seconds ahead of True Monkey Page, and Andrew's trying to hold on. True Monkey Page, True Monkey Page lost it there, and he's lost out to Horatio there. True Monkey Page having a big moment as he was trying to get around Andrew Pittsmith up into 2nd place. He's lost out enormously there. He's down to P6 as Mark Bow and Derby Bay move up ahead, and Malky follows them through as well. True Monkey Page down to P7. That could not have gone much worse there for True Monkey Page, as he loses out to pretty much everybody there in that pack. And Derby Bay's got ahead of Mark Bow up into 4th place as they go in side by side into turn 9, and he's managed to complete that move there. He gets that done, he makes it stick. Bennett leads by 3.5 seconds ahead of Andrew Pittsmith right now, but Andrew there holding on to P2 just about. He wouldn't have done a True Monkey Page had got ahead of him there, but True Monkey Page making that mistake coming through turn 7, and that has dropped him down to 7th place as Horatio into the pits to get those medium tyres changed. Why? What for? Is he banking on a safety car maybe? Potentially Horatio is hoping that there will be a safety car between now and the end of the race, and he's putting on some soft, I would imagine, as we see those tyres going onto the car. Yes, soft tyres go on for Horatio, unsurprisingly, but wow, I mean, Andrew Pittsmith's still running on those soft tyres which he put on 8 laps ago. He's definitely going to need to come in and get those changed again, unless we see another safety car in this race. But at this rate, he's going to have to do 13 racing laps on those soft tyres. If we get another safety car, he might just be able to eat them to the end. But as it is, he'll definitely have to get those changed before the end. As we see Derby Bay and Mark Bow separated by about a second. Mark Bow still keeping Derby Bay on his toes. Malky's being dragged along into this battle here for the final podium spot. Malky's kept it consistent and can easily get those hard tyres to the end, but then again those medium tyres probably are in the same situation. They could probably quite easily get to the end now, especially when you consider the safety car period allowed them to just save the life in the tyres. Derby Bay and Mark Bow will definitely be thanking their blessings for that safety car. But then currently pretty much out of range of the race leader Bennett LCFC, but certainly they're on course for a very strong position, probably a podium here in this race. With Andrew Pittsmith on worn out soft tyres, he'll need to come in before the end of this race, so that will promote Derby Bay, Mark Bow and Malky up a position. Malky could be very much in contention here for a podium if he plays his cards right in the final closing stage of this race, as Mark Bow's in the pits. That's another driver who's on the mediums coming into the pits here at this late stage of the race. What's going on? Maybe he started on the mediums and that's why he's having to come in. Maybe he hasn't used maybe he hasn't used two different tyre compounds. I'm not sure. That could be why he's having to come in. But Mark Bow anyways come into the pits, and he's come out behind Horatio, who came in a couple of laps ago, and also behind Polish My Balls as well. These three can all go to the end of the race easily. But yeah, right now that's not really worked out at all for Mark Bow. Bennett LCFC still leading this race by 5 seconds ahead of Andrew Pittsmith. Sand's got ahead of Malky, so Malky must have made a mistake there as he's down to 6th place here. It's all gone a bit wrong for Malky. He was in contention for a podium a few moments ago. He's now down in P6, so he's clearly had a big skirmish there. And you can see there his front wing's missing. So that is going to pretty much have put a nail in Malky's chances of a strong position here. That could even drop him down to the back here, or maybe behind Mark Bow. He's going to have to come in and get that front wing repaired. He'll be able to put some softs on and go quick at the end of the race. His only hope in this race now is a safety car, really. As we see Horatio down the inside into turn 9, gets that move done on Malky. Routine stuff there with Malky's missing front wing. Bennett LCFC still leading this race. He's got a 6-second gap at the moment over Andrew Pittsmith. Derby Bay's the fastest man out on track though, quicker than Bennett on that previous lap by a little bit, by just about a fraction of a second, about a tenth of a second. Derby Bay was quicker than Bennett LCFC. He's starting to reel in Andrew Pittsmith. Derby Bay will be hoping he can get ahead of Andrew as quickly as he possibly can and clear him and go after Bennett. Oh, Andrew's lost it! Andrew on those worn out soft tyres has lost it coming through turns 1 and 2. He gets it pointing in the right direction. He's going to have even worse tyre wear on those soft tyres than he already would have done with the distance he's had to go on them. Andrew Pittsmith there loses out to Tree Monkey Page, and Tree Monkey Page back onto the podium despite the turbulent race that he's had in these last few laps. He's up into 3rd place, and Andrew's study all over the place. Oh, he's lost it again coming on the exit of turn 5, and it's going from bad to worse for Andrew Pittsmith. It's not really looking up at all for him. Sand's going to be coming up on the scene and moves up into 4th. Horatio follows him through into P5. Andrew Pittsmith gets it going once again. He's going to have to pit. Those softs are shredded there. They got nothing left at all in them, no tread on them whatsoever. As Mark Bow and Polish My Balls are going to get ahead of Andrew up this run towards turn 6 and 7. Malky after his impromptu pit stop there, down in 9th place due to the front wing. Cart's still running in P10. Bennett leads by 7 seconds. Derby Bay obviously promoted up into that P2 with Andrew Pittsmith basically just hitting the cliff there on this lap. Derby Bay in 2nd place. Tree Monkey Page there running in 3rd place, completing the podium spots, 13 seconds off for the race leader Bennett LCFC. Horatio there running in 4th place. Looks like he's left his charger but daylight and $1 short on those soft tyres. He will have a superior grip to Derby Bay and Tree Monkey Page, but I don't think he's going to be able to close down 13 seconds to get onto the podium. San running in 5th place, 2 seconds behind Horatio. Mark Bow still going a couple of seconds behind San in 6th, but Andrew Pittsmith there has had an absolute horror show on that lap, down to P7. He was in 2nd place this time a lap ago. That could not have gone much worse for him, as he's got Polish My Balls within half a second of him coming up towards turn 1 in the battle for 7th and 8th places. Malky there in 8th place. We see the lap car of Carts there coming out of the pits there, out towards the end of the pit lane there. Lap 29 of 33 here. Bennett still leads. He's got 4.5 laps left to go here in this race to see this one out, as he's got Derby Bay really reeling him in here in the closing stages of this race. Though Derby Bay looks pretty quick at this point and seems to be closing that gap, but maybe 6.5 seconds might be a little bit too much for him in 4 laps. But Derby Bay seems quicker at this point than Bennett. Anything can still happen. If Bennett makes a mistake, then Derby Bay is going to be right there to capitalise. San there running in 5th place has got 6 tenths back to Mark Bow. These two seem pretty close. Andrew's got 6 tenths back to Polish My Balls. As we can see, that battle's still raging on in towards the closing stages of this race. Bennett though looks like he's got this one under control at the moment as he crosses over the line to start the 4th and last lap of the race. 5.6 is the gap. Derby Bay's bringing that down, and he's bringing it down by quite a rate at the minute. 5.5 over 5 laps. If Derby Bay can go a little bit more than a second a lap quicker than Bennett, he will be on him by the time we get to the final lap. This could actually be quite close here in this battle for the win. At the moment, San's got a bit of a gap back to Andrew as Andrew's closing in on him though, and Andrew's kind of keeping that gap to Polish My Balls at around a second here as these three are coming out of the last corner to complete lap 29 of the race onto lap 30. But it looks as though they're kind of just the gap between each of them is kind of staying around the same as we see Polish My Balls has got DRS on Andrew coming into turn 1, can't get anything done there. He's having to hold position for the time being as Andrew's trying to get something done with San as well. Bennett's gap over Derby Bay 5 seconds and it's coming down. Malky sets the fastest lap of the race on fresh soft tyres there, goes a fraction of a second quicker than Derby Bay, so takes the fastest lap point away from Derby Bay as Derby Bay's tyres are going to be wearing out at this point. 12 lap old medium tyres, they're not going to be in their best shape, but he's still closing in on Bennett LCFC at the moment. But how much longer is he going to be able to keep up this scorching pace and continue to close that gap to the race leader as they're coming out onto the start finish straight? Bennett's crossing the line already there. Derby Bay's just coming up towards the start finish line as we speak. The gap 4.8, 4.7 there as they cross over the line. Wow. The gap was 5.5 this time last lap, so Derby Bay's gained 0.8 of a second on that lap. If he continues to gain at a rate of 0.8, he'll be within 3 seconds by the start of the last lap. So I think Bennett may just about hold on here. Might be a day late and $1 short for Derby Bay. Could be close though between these two. If Bennett makes any kind of mistakes or slips, then Derby Bay is going to be right there to capitalise. We know that, 100% guaranteed. Andrew's pretty close to the back of San here. 4/10 coming into the DRS zone. Andrew's probably going to get the move done here as we see the rear wing wide open. He's going to look to the outside as San covers the inside line, but Andrew's going to try and go around the outside here. San's going to hug that inside line and manages to squeeze him out there and holds on to that P6 ahead of Andrew Pittsmith. Great driving from those two as San keeps onto that P6 by the skin of his teeth. Malky set another fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 20.2. He's flying in that Aston Martin and he'll get the fastest lap point as well, but he's too far behind Polish My Balls, I think, to get up into 8th place. In fact, no, Polish My Balls, what's happened there? Okay, maybe not. He's a bit too far behind Andrew though to get up into 8th, to say the least. But Bennett still leads this race by 3.7. The gap's continuing to come down, and it's come down by quite a lot on that lap as well. It was 4.7 on the previous lap, it's now 3.3. Derby Bay are 1 minute 20's dead. He's 1.4 seconds quicker than Bennett on that last lap. This could go down to the wire. Bennett's tyres seem to be hitting a bit of a cliff. Derby Bay seems to really be getting the best out of those tyres. He must have been saving them earlier on. Andrew Pittsmith out of the race. Let's hope we haven't got a safety car here, because this is setting up to be a really dramatic climax to this race. Let's hope the marshals can get that cleared up under double waved yellows as quickly as possible and we don't be seeing a safety car, because we want to see this go down to the wire between Bennett and Derby Bay. Looks like it's just double waved yellows. They're going to get that cleared up under the double waved yellows, so no safety car once again. Great to see that the marshals can get that cleared up in record time. Double waved yellows through sector 1. Hopefully no major mishaps here for anybody out on track as Bennett leads by 2.6. The gap's coming down. Derby Bay has got really strong pace here in the final part of this race. Horatio's got himself into 4th place ahead of Mark Bowe, so he's gained a position there. Some more points there for Horatio as he's got reasonably fresh soft tyres there. Not as quick as Malky's going at the moment in P7 on those 3 lap old softs, but the 5 lap old softs of Horatio still going pretty good guns. Mark Bowe on those softs also doing a good job there, but losing out to Horatio in that little battle there. Bennett coming out of the final corner, out onto the start finish straight, is about to start the final lap. The gap is now less than 2 seconds. It's 1.9 between Bennett and Derby Bay. If Derby Bay can get himself within a second at the next DRS zone, who knows what might happen here as Mark Bowe's crashed out of the race. Let's hope and pray that that's not going to be a safety car. I can't see how that's not going to be a safety car, to be honest with you. He's just parked there on the exit of turn 8 and I don't know how the steward's going to get that cleared up. It looks as though we're not going to have a safety car here by some kind of miracle. They've got it cleared. The car's disappeared. It's just evaporated into thin air, and Bennett and Derby Bay separated by 1.7 seconds here. Double wave yellows through sector 3. Not going to matter for these two. They're just coming out on the exit of sector 1. Bennett LCFC though has got that cushion of 2 seconds. Derby Bay's been hunting him down over these last few laps. He's been really coming after him in the final part of this race, but I think Bennett might just have enough unless he makes a mistake coming through this part of the track. It's the final sector where Derby Bay really seems to have to pace over him though. But the thing is that we've already been through the two DRS zones on this lap, so it's all about Bennett just seeing it through this final part of the track, making sure that his tyres can get through these tricky, twisty corners here at Circuit de Catalunya here in Spain. It's going to be another win for Bennett LCFC in the XL OG League here on a Wednesday night. What a drive. He managed to hold that out and just about is going to hold on here. Derby Bay really came from in the final part of the race, but Bennett LCFC up towards the line, takes the checker flag here in Spain. It's going to be the victory once again for Bennett LCFC. Derby Bay pushed it all the way to the flag, but came up just short in the end and got a 5-second penalty as well to boot. So that's going to drop him back a little bit further off the back of Bennett, but great drive from both of those two. Bennett comes out on top ahead of Derby Bay. Tree Monkey Page takes the final podium spot there, crosses the line in third place. A solid job there for Tree Monkey Page as he in the end had a bit of a turbulent race but manages to limit the damage done there, and I'm sure he'll be pretty happy with that one considering the race that he had. Horatio coming out of the final corner. It's going to be a 4th place here for him on those soft tyres that he put on a few laps ago. Good drive from Horatio there. San is going to come out of the last corner to take a 5th place here. He's going to drop a little bit off of Horatio towards the end of the race, but 5th place is a good result nonetheless. Malky really was flying towards the end there, setting fastest laps after fastest laps. I think he got pipped to the fastest lap in the end by Derby Bay, but those two were trading fastest laps in the closing stages. Malky comes over to take a 6th place there. Karts is going to come in towards the final corner. It's going to be a 7th place finish for Karts. Polish My Balls crosses the line in 9th, and Karts will be the last to finish there in 7th place. But a big congratulations to this man here, Bennett LCFC, who managed to hold off a charging Derby Bay at the end, the reigning champion of the XL OG League, once again taking another win. I'm sure he must be leading the championship for this season. Derby Bay though fought tooth and nail for that one and was really coming for him at the end, but couldn't quite get there in time. So commiserations obviously to Derby Bay, but well done to Bennett once again. Polish My Balls apparently is still going. He still hasn't hit the checkered flag. I don't know what's going on there, but we have 100% hit the flag, and we know that Bennett LCFC is the winner of this race. So we're just waiting now for confirmation from race control on that one. So I kind of just sat here just waiting basically for the race to end, really. Don't really know what's happening, to be honest with you. But Bennett LCC taking another great win here. Derby Bay and Tree Monkey Page completing the podium. Lots of drivers crashed out from this race. Mark Bowe and Andrew Pittsmith towards the closing stages ended up DNFing. Blocker, Viper, Danny Din, Soph and Paul Codd all also crashing out of the race. As we see there, Horatio crossing the line, San also crossing the line again. These guys obviously finished the race a lap ago and have long since finished their race. Polish My Balls coming around for another one. Are we going to finish the race this time? Is the checker flag going to come out this time around? Polish My Balls out at the last corner and up towards the line to finish in 9th place and pick up 2 championship points. And that should be that, I think. No. So, well, the time is at 15 seconds, so we're going to wrap this up. I want to say another big congratulations to Bennett LCFC on taking a superb win here in the XLF1 League Spanish Grand Prix. Derby Bay coming home in 2nd place and Tree Monkey Page 3rd. Big thank you to everybody who watched, to the drivers watching this back. I hope that I did the stream justice and managed to narrate your race in the best possible way. If you haven't already, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the Motive Racing channel, as it really helps us out an enormous amount. If you want to get involved in some Friday F1 action at Motive, then be sure to let me know or join the link in the description below the XL Discord link. You've got the Motive Racing link. Join Motive Racing's Discord server and join the F1 League on a Friday night. We've got a few spaces available for our next race at Singapore. If any of you guys are watching, you want to get involved in that, definitely take a look. But from us, it's a big thank you. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great evening and see ya.